The 2011 NBA Draft was held on June 23, 2011 at Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. The draft started at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and was broadcast in the United States on ESPN. In this draft, National Basketball Association teams took turns selecting amateur U.S. college basketball players and other eligible players, including international players. The Cleveland Cavaliers had the first pick, choosing point guard Kyrie Irving of Duke. Of the 60 players drafted, 7 were freshmen, 7 were sophomores, 14 were juniors, 19 were seniors, 12 were international players without U.S. college basketball experience, and 1 was a D-League player. The 2011 NBA Draft marked the final time the New Jersey Nets made an NBA Draft appearance. After the end of the Nets' 2011 December season, the franchise relocated to Brooklyn, New York and was renamed to the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets made their first draft appearance with the Brooklyn moniker in 2012. Eligibility rules. As of 2010, the basic eligibility rules for the draft are listed below. All drafted players must be at least 19 years old during the calendar year of the draft. In terms of dates, players eligible for the 2011 draft must be born on or before December 31, 1992. Any player who is not an international player, as defined in the CBA, must be at least 1 year removed from the graduation of his high school class. The CBA defines international players as players who permanently resided outside the U.S. for 3 years prior to the draft, did not complete high school in the U.S., and have never enrolled at a U.S. college or university. The basic requirement for automatic eligibility for a U.S. player is the completion of his college eligibility. Players who meet the CBA definition of international players are automatically eligible if their 22nd birthday falls during or before the calendar year of the draft. U.S. players who were at least 1 year removed from their high school graduation and have played minor league basketball with a team outside the NBA are also automatically eligible. A player who is not automatically eligible must declare his eligibility for the draft by notifying the NBA offices in writing no later than 60 days before the draft. For the 2011 draft, this date fell on April 24. Under NCAA rules, players will only have until May 8 to withdraw from the draft and maintain their college eligibility. This year, a total of 69 collegiate players and 20 international players declared as early entry candidates. At the withdrawal deadline, 25 early entry candidates withdrew from the draft, leaving 42 collegiate players and 6 international players as the early entry candidates for the draft. A player who has hired an agent will forfeit his remaining college eligibility, regardless of whether he is drafted. Also, while the CBA allows a player to withdraw from the draft twice, the NCAA mandates that a player who is declared twice loses his college eligibility. Draft lottery. The first 14 picks in the draft belong to teams that missed the playoffs. The order will be determined through a lottery. The lottery will determine the 3 teams that will obtain the first 3 picks on the draft. The remaining first-round picks and the second-round picks were assigned to teams in reverse order of their win-loss record in the previous season. As it is commonplace in the event of identical win-loss records, the NBA performed a random drawing to break the ties on April 15, 2011. The lottery was held on May 17, 2011 in Secaucus, New Jersey. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who obtained the Los Angeles Clippers' first-round draft pick, won the lottery. The Cavaliers won the lottery with a 22.7% chance to win, combining a 19.9% chance from their own pick and 2.8% chance from the Clippers' pick. However, their winning lottery combination came from the Clippers' pick, which had significantly lower chance to win. The Minnesota Timberwolves, who had the worst record and the biggest chance to win the lottery, won the second pick. The Utah Jazz, who obtained the New Jersey Nets' first-round draft pick, won the third pick. Below were the chances for each team to get specific picks in the 2011 draft lottery, rounded to 3 decimal places. A1, a New Jersey Nets pick was conveyed to the Utah Jazz. A2, a Los Angeles Clippers pick was conveyed to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Entrance, early entrance, college underclassmen, All players are Americans except as indicated. International players. This list is restricted to players who meet the CBA definition of international players. Davis Berta NSA Euro-F, Olimpijal Jubljana, Bismack Biomawa Euro-F, Balança Stofwin Labrador, Nikola Miroshaya Euro-F, Real Madrid, Donatas Motieja Nassau Euro-F, Benetton Treviso, Jonas Valana Ian Nassau Euro-C, Lietuvos Rytas, Jan Veselan 1/2 AA Euro-F, Partizan Belgrade, automatically eligible entrants. This list is intended to include only players who qualify for automatic eligibility despite not meeting the standard criteria reaching age 22 during the calendar year of the draft for players who qualify as international under the CBA, or being 4 years removed from the graduation of their high school class if they do not qualify as international. The signing of a contract with a professional basketball team in a league other than the NBA, combined with rendering services under that contract, may trigger automatic eligibility. The criterion for eligibility differs slightly depending on whether or not the player is international. For international players, the contract must be with a non-NBA team within the United States. For non-international players, the contract may be with any team outside of the NBA in any country. Citizenship is not a criterion for determining whether a player is international under the CBA. While the criteria have been discussed elsewhere in this article, they will be repeated here to provide further context. For a player to be international under the CBA, he must meet all of the following criteria: resident outside the U.S. for at least 3 years at the time of the draft. Did not complete basketball eligibility at a U.S. high school. Never enrolled at a U.S. college or university. These players would also be eligible for selection in the 2011 NBA draft. All players are Americans except as indicated. Michael Dunagana Euro-F, BC Karlov Kramo, Otur Majoka Euro-FC, Gold Coast Blaze. Majok is not international under the CBA because he played college basketball at Connecticut. Jermaine Petersona Euro-F, New Mexico Thunderbirds. Jeremy Tyler Euro-PF, Tokyo Apache, Max Tsanga Euro-C, Shanghai Sharks. Zhang is not international under the CBA because he played college basketball at California. Invited attendees. The NBA annually invites 10 or 15 players to sit in the so-called Green Room, a special room set aside at the draft site for the invited players plus their families and agents. This season, the following players were invited: Bismack Biyombo, Balança Stofwin Labrador, Alec Burks, Colorado, Jim F. Dett, Brigham Young, Kyrie Irving, Duke, Enes Kanter, Kentucky, Brandon Knight, Kentucky, Kawhi Leonard, San Diego State, Marcus Morris, Kansas, Markieff Morris, Kansas, Donatas Motieja Nas, Benetton Treviso, Chris Singleton, Florida State, Klay Thompson, Washington State, Tristan Thompson, Texas, Jonas Valana Ian Nas, Lietuvos Rytas, Jan Veselan 1/2, Partizan Belgrade, Kemba Walker, Connecticut, Derek Williams, Arizona. Selections. Trades involving draft picks. Pre-draft trades. Prior to the day of the draft, the following trades were made and resulted in exchanges of draft picks between the teams. A 1-2 on February 24, 2011, the Cleveland Cavaliers acquired Baron Davis and a 2011 first-round draft pick from the Los Angeles Clippers in exchange for Mo Williams and Jamario Moon. B-1-2 on February 23, 2011, the Utah Jazz acquired Devin Harris, Derek Favors, New Jersey's 2011 first-round draft pick and Golden State's 2012 first-round draft pick from the New Jersey Nets in exchange for Deron Williams. C-1-2 on February 22, 2011, the Chicago Bulls acquired Miami's 2011 first-round draft pick from the Toronto Raptors in exchange for James Johnson. Previously, on July 9, 2010, the Raptors reacquired their 2011 first-round draft pick while also acquiring Miami's 2011 first-round draft pick and a trade exception from the Miami Heat in exchange for Chris Bosh. Previously, on February 14, 2009, the Heat acquired Jermaine O'Neal, Jamario Moon, a 2011 first-round draft pick and a 2010 second-round draft pick from the Raptors in exchange for Shawn Marion, Marcus Banks and cash considerations. D. On February 23, 2011, the Washington Wizards acquired Mike Bibby, Morris Evans, Jordan Crawford and a 2011 first-round draft pick from the Atlanta Hawks in exchange for Kirk Hinrich and Hilton Armstrong. E. On February 23, 2011, the Charlotte Bobcats acquired Joel Ptsabilla, Dante Cunningham, Sean Marks, New Orleans' 2011 first-round draft pick, Portland's 2013 conditional first-round draft pick and cash considerations from the Portland Trail Blazers in exchange for Gerald Wallace. Previously, on October 23, 2010, the Blazers acquired a 2011 first-round draft pick from the New Orleans Hornets in exchange for Jared Bayless. F. On July 13, 2010, the Minnesota Timberwolves acquired Costa Koufos, Memphis' 2011 first-round draft pick and Utah's 2012 conditional first-round draft pick from the Utah Jazz in exchange for Al Jefferson. Previously, on February 18, 2010, the Jazz acquired a 2011 first-round draft pick from the Memphis Grizzlies in exchange for Ronnie Brewer. G. On February 24, 2011, the Houston Rockets acquired Goran Dragic and Orlando's 2011 first-round draft pick from the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Aaron Brooks. Previously, on December 18, 2010, the Suns acquired Vince Carter, Marcin Gortat, Mikon Elpia copyrightress, a 2011 first-round draft pick and cash considerations from the Orlando Magic in exchange for Jason Richardson, Hedo Tawan Kortarakoayu and L. Clark. H12 On December 15, 2010, the New Jersey Nets acquired Sasha Vorjaya and a 2011 first-round draft pick from the Los Angeles Lakers, while the Lakers acquired Joe Smith, Golden State's 2011 and Chicago's 2012 second-round draft picks from the Nets in a three-team trade with the Lakers and the Houston Rockets. Previously, the Nets acquired a 2011 second-round draft pick from the Golden State Warriors as a compensation for delaying the sending of the 2011 conditional first-round draft pick to at least 2012. In the original trade on July 22, 2008, the Nets acquired a 2011 conditional first-round draft pick on July 22, 2008 from the Golden State Warriors in exchange for Marcus Williams. On July 12, 2010. The Miami Heat acquired 2011 and 2014 second-round draft picks and cash considerations from the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for Michael Beasley. J. On June 15, 2007, the Detroit Pistons acquired 2009 and 2011 second-round draft picks from the Toronto Raptors in exchange for Carlos Delfino. K. On February 16, 2009, the Los Angeles Clippers acquired Alex Acker and a 2011 second-round draft pick from the Detroit Pistons in exchange for a 2013 conditional second-round draft pick. L12 On August 6, 2008, the Houston Rockets acquired the option to swap 2011 second-round draft picks from the Los Angeles Clippers in exchange for Steve Novak. The option to swap 2011 second-round draft picks was exercised. On July 8, 2010. The Chicago Bulls acquired Carlos Boozer and a 2011 second-round draft pick from the Utah Jazz in exchange for a trade exception. And on July 22, 2010, the Golden State Warriors acquired Phoenix's 2011 second-round draft pick and a trade exception from the Chicago Bulls in exchange for C.J. Watson. Previously, on July 9, 2010, the Bulls acquired a second-round draft pick from the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Hakeem Warwick. 012 On September 29, 2010, the New Orleans Hornets acquired Willie Green, Jason Smith and the option to swap 2011 second-round draft picks from the Philadelphia 76ers in exchange for Darius Songela and Craig Brackens. The option to swap 2011 second-round draft picks was exercised. On June 26, 2009, the Los Angeles Lakers acquired a 2011 second-round draft pick and cash considerations from the New York Knicks in exchange for the draft rights to Tony Douglas. On July 13, 2009, the Detroit Pistons acquired a 2011 second-round draft pick from the Denver Nuggets in exchange for Aaron Afflalo, Walter Sharp and cash considerations. On July 10, 2010, the Cleveland Cavaliers acquired two first-round draft picks, New Orleans' 2012 and Oklahoma City's second-round draft picks, the option to swap 2012 first-round draft picks and a trade exception from the Miami Heat in exchange for LeBron James. Previously, on June 24, 2010, the Heat acquired a 2011 second-round pick from the Oklahoma City Thunder in exchange for the draft rights to Latavius Williams. On June 26, 2009, the Los Angeles Lakers acquired a 2011 second-round draft pick and cash considerations from the New York Knicks in exchange for the draft rights to Patrick Beverley. On July 21, 2010, the Sacramento Kings acquired Darnell Jackson and a 2011 second-round draft pick from the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for John Brockman. Previously, on February 18, 2010, the Bucks acquired John Salmons, the option to swap 2010 first-round draft pick, 2011 and 2012 second-round draft picks from the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Hakeem Warrick and Joe Alexander. Draft day trades. The following trades involving drafted players were made on the day of the draft. A 1-2-3 in a three-team trade, the Charlotte Bobcats acquired Corey Maggette from the Milwaukee Bucks and the draft rights to 7th pick Bismack Biyombo from the Sacramento Kings. The Kings acquired John Salmons and the draft rights to 10th pick Jim Fredette from the Bucks, and the Bucks acquired Ben Audrey from the Kings, Stephen Jackson, Sean Livingston and the draft rights to 19th pick Tobias Harris from the Bobcats. B1-2 The Indiana Pacers acquired George Hill from the San Antonio Spurs in exchange for the draft rights to 15th pick Jorge Leonard, 42nd pick Davis Bertans and the draft rights to Erasm Lawbeck, the 46th pick in 2005. C1-2-3 The Houston Rockets acquired Johnny Flynn, the draft rights to 20th pick Donatas Motiejunas and a 2012 second-round draft pick from the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for Brad Miller, the draft rights to 23rd pick Nikola Mirotic, 38th pick Chandler Parsons and a future first-round draft pick. The Rockets then reacquired the draft rights to Parsons from the Timberwolves in exchange for cash considerations. D1-2-3 The Chicago Bulls acquired the draft rights to 23rd pick Nikola Mirotic from the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for the draft rights to 28th pick Norris Cole, 43rd pick Malcolm Lee and cash considerations. E1-2 The New Jersey Nets acquired the draft rights to 25th pick Marson Brooks from the Boston Celtics in exchange for the draft rights to 27th pick Juan Johnson and a 2014 second-round draft pick. F1-2 In a three-team trade, the Denver Nuggets acquired the draft rights to 26th pick Jordan Hamilton from the Dallas Mavericks, Andre Miller and a future second-round draft pick from the Portland Trail Blazers. The Mavericks acquired Rudy Fernandez and the draft rights to Petteri Kaponen, the 30th pick in 2007, from the Blazers, and the Blazers acquired Raymond Felton from the Nuggets and the draft rights to 57th pick Tanguy Nombo from the Mavericks. G1-2 The Miami Heat acquired the draft rights to 28th pick Norris Cole from the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for the draft rights to 31st pick Bojan Bogdanovic, a 2014 second-round draft pick and cash considerations. The New Jersey Nets acquired the draft rights to 31st pick Bojan Bogdanovic from the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for a 2013 second-round draft pick and cash considerations. The Orlando Magic acquired the draft rights to 32nd pick Justin Harper from the Cleveland Cavaliers in exchange for 2013 and 2014 second-round draft picks. The Golden State Warriors acquired the draft rights to 39th pick Jeremy Tyler from the Charlotte Bobcats in exchange for cash considerations. The New York Knicks acquired the draft rights to 45th pick Josh Harrelson from the New Orleans Hornets in exchange for cash considerations. The Denver Nuggets acquired the draft rights to 56th pick Shaquille Madu-Abam from the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for a future second-round draft pick. Notable undrafted players. These players were not selected in the 2011 NBA draft but have played at least one game in the NBA. References: General. Specific. External links: NBA.com, Draft 2011.